Hi, kindergarten parents. This video is a follow-up to the last video, Writing at Home Basics. This is how to support your child after they finish a story. So there are kind of three things that you can do when they say, I'm finished. This is usually after they've done 1 or 2 20-minute sessions independently on what we reviewed in our first video. And the first thing that you can ask your child is, can you read me your story? So sometimes this is challenging for kids, so you encourage them to use their finger to point to the text and go from left to right, just like we do when we read. If they do get stuck, you can always get them to refer to their pictures. Remind them about how they did the touch and tell for this story, and remind them kind of what they talked about. You can also look at the picture and say, well, the picture you drew makes me think that this says, and kind of give them a hint and help them along. Also, if you're on pages 1 or 2, you can ask them, well, and then what happened? So after they've read the story, you can get your magic pen. So the magic pen, depending on your child's ability, it's going to do different things. Again, we want to keep it positive. We don't want to make any child feel bad about the immense amount of trying and work that they've just done. So in kindergarten, we focus on making writing that is easy to read. And part of that is spaces between words. So we're going to look at an example right now where there's no spaces in between words. So your child might have something that looks like this. Now, when I use my magic pen, I just am going to take this different color pen, not a pencil, so that they can kind of differentiate between what the magic pen wrote and what they wrote, and make it clear and easy to see. So we want to have spaces. And let me make this bigger so that you can see it. Okay, so this sentence really says, I play blocks with my friend. Now, it might not seem that way, but this is typical of kindergarten writing. And what I like to do when they're not showing spaces between words is I like to take the magic pen and I just like to draw a line where a space should be. So one would go here, here, blocks with my, and then friend. The next thing you want to do is congratulate them on how much they did and how many sounds they heard. And what I like to do is draw one line for each word and then let them put the finger in between before I draw my next line. So for example, I would get this line. Then I'd have them put their finger in between and I draw the line for play. Then I'd have them put their finger in and draw a line for blocks. Have them put their finger in, draw a line for width. And then remind them that this is not enough space to write my nicely. So you're going to go on to the next line. My, have them put their finger in, and friend. Okay, so I play blocks with my friend. Now, some of these are sight words that they should be getting. So what you're going to do is you're going to get your sight word chart that they've got. It's found on our kindergarten online learning website, and you can tell that they already wrote I. So you're going to get them to write it again with their pencil. So you want to encourage them to write it right there where it belongs. So I. And remind them that, yes, there's a space, and there's got to be a space before we write play. And you can say, oh, I can see that you started play with P, so let's look in the P box. And ask them to really look and think about which word is play. And you might need to support them a little bit, but they might be able to pick the right word, and encourage them to copy it just as it is. Go ahead and copy it onto the line the best they can. And then you can get them to go back and read. I play blocks. Now, blocks is not a snap word, okay? But they did get quite a few letter sounds. So I'm going to go ahead and use my magic pen to write it in for them. We don't want to encourage them to copy it with a mistake in it. So I'm just going to go ahead and write it in. And you can tell them, wow, I see that you got the B and I see that you got the L, and my goodness, KS does sound like X. Good try. With is also not a snap word. So you're going to go ahead and copy that. You're going to write it for them. And sometimes it's very common for them to write an F, and you want to remind them that it's that TH sound, with, and you can write that in there for them. I play blocks with my. My is another snap word, and we can tell, yep, you did. It did start with M, but it's a different letter that comes after the M. And you can have them look up here in the M box, and I bet that they'll be able to figure out, and they will write my in with their pencil. Okay, I play blocks with my friends. And you can say, my goodness, you've got so many sounds in there, but it is a snap word and we are missing some sounds. So then they should be able to go and look in the F box and find the word friend. And they should be able to copy it in. Then I would encourage them to say, don't forget what comes at the end of your sentence? A full stop. Or if they're really excited, they might say an exclamation point. So they've copied down the sight words. You've given them the tools for spacing, and then they can go back and reread it. I play blocks with my friend. Perfect. Another problem that students run into is hearing the beginning and ending sounds and using those snap words. So if they already have the spacing down, let's look at this example. Okay, so with this example, it's supposed to say, the game I like to play best is Lego. So they've got their spacing in between, but we are missing some beginning and ending letter sounds, and we are forgetting the snap words that we probably already know. So you're going to go ahead and take your magic pen, and what you're going to do is, using the snap word sheet to help you, you're going to circle any snap words that they haven't spelled correctly. So this is supposed to be the. They did listen for the sounds, and sometimes it does sound like a D, but this is not how we write the. Game. They've got the G, but I don't hear an ending sound. So I'm going to draw a line here to let them know that there's a sound missing from here. I is okay. Like, that's another snap word. So I'm going to circle that. To, perfect. Play, great. Best. We're missing some sounds from best. Is, fine. And Lego, we're missing some sounds from Lego, and we're also missing a full stop or an exclamation point at the end. So this is where you go back with your child and you encourage them. You say, I know you know the word the. So you encourage them to erase. And you can help them out a little bit and say, the. It doesn't quite sound like a D. I think it might be the TH sound. So which one of these is the? And they'll probably be able to recall that it's this one, and they should be able to write it in. The. And then you'd say, okay, for the word game, I think we're forgetting the ending sound. What other sound do you hear in here? And they might say, M. They also might hear the A. That's okay too. If they want to write AM, or if they want to write M, both of those are perfect. So we'll write M. The game I like. Again, you'd say, I think you know this snap word. So you'll help them erase it. Encourage them to look at the snap word chart. Aha, I think they'll figure it out. They'll be able to write it in. To play, best. And you can help them listen. Best. And maybe they hear more than one sound. Maybe they hear the S and the T. Maybe they even hear the E. Great. The game I like to play best is Lego. And you can tell them, oh, you are missing that ending sound, my friend. and they should be able to write the O. And then encourage them what comes next, and they'll probably either say a full stop, or if they really like to play Lego, they might do an exclamation point. So those are the ways that we use the Magic Pen to help support our writers. The last thing that we do is we offer a compliment and or a question. So this is a great way to make the kids feel even better about what they've done. You want to use specific behaviors that we've outlined in this video and in the basics video. So you might say something like, I like that you really thought carefully about your story. Or I like that you made your words match the pictures. I like that you put spaces in between each of your words. I like that you heard so many sounds in the words you wrote. Those are all great ways that you can compliment your writer for trying their best. Another thing that you can do to extend learning is to ask a question. One of the things that we like to say best as kindergarten teachers is, when you're done, you've just begun, which means you can always add more to a story. So sometimes, even for just discussion purposes and to develop storytelling skills, you might want to ask your child, wow, what happens next? Another thing, if their pictures are lacking or if their sentences are a little sparse, you can ask them questions like, well, who else was there? Maybe they want to add somebody else to their drawing. Or where did this happen? And write a few more words about where this story happened. And the last thing you can do is just ask them, tell me more about, and that'll get them brainstorming and really thinking about what they've written and maybe that they'll want to add more. So again, when they say I'm finished, you ask them to read you their story. You use your Magic Pen, and then you can ask a question or give a compliment or both. So we love seeing your stories on Seesaw, and we love celebrating your awesome writing with you. We want to thank you, parents, so much for the many ways in you are supporting your child. We look so forward to school opening back up. So we hope to see your writing soon. Bye.